Aloha! It's on at Covert. I'm coming to you from my battleship here on the beautiful island of Oahu. This week on the Covert Code, the topic is From Maui to Milan. How Gen Z marketing has evolved. And I'm very excited about my special guest because this is my very own official mini-me. And I've known Kiana since she was 12 years old.
Gosh, has it been that long?
It was, and what I'll never forget about our first meeting was it was at the grocery store in Maui. And we were walking through the aisles, and it was with you and your younger sister. And we got to one aisle. We started talking about, a marketing concept, which is one of my favorites, which is the threshold or the line of vision inside of a grocery store. So every single unit has its own pricing based off the line of vision. And I was talking about it, and Kiana just like lit up. It's hard, like her eyes just light up. And flash forward, she came and helped me with multiple photo shoots, and one that I thought about today because you were down there in Chinatown was the Diamond Bakery.
I literally told Emma when we were scouting together in Chinatown about that exact shoot that we did.
Yeah.
And George was there, and it was great.
And you were like 16 on that one, I
Yep.
think. Yep. And then she ended up going to the Moata, or I can't even sound worse.
Bentley.
Falcons Bentley, and now so proud she is brand manager in Maui at a very special brand. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I'm the brand director of Acacia. I do 360-degree marketing for them, as well as brand storytelling, creative direction, and yeah, I'm really glad to be part of the team, part of a brand that I followed since I was 15 years old, actually, is when I bought my first Acacia.
It's swimsuits.
Yeah, swim and ready swear. So it's been really lovely to evolve with the brand and come into this evolution with myself, even in this space.
Wow, I didn't know they were around that long.
Oh yeah. Acacia's been around, gosh, I want to say the designer told me, Naomi, she said that she had her swimsuits started in Bali in maybe 2006, 2008, around there. So it's been nearly 2 decades that the brand's been out, and it's such an incredible brand. And I started to become so interested in fashion from Milan when I studied in Milan. So it's so interesting that we're now transitioning into this.
Yeah, and it's been I think just really amazing that this Maui artist and look where you guys are based, and to hear that you're doing all these incredible photo shoots, and then just this last summer you were in Sweden and
Yeah.
and where else?
I was in Sweden, and then first we actually started this whole trek of photo shoots, which was really our 2025 campaign season that I did alongside our art director. And she's a beautiful and talented photographer herself. Her name is Kaylee Robertson. But we started in Miami, which is where we had planned our last runway for Miami Swim Week for our Resort 25 collection. It started in Miami. It was absolutely beautiful in this beautiful cemented garage that really let the design shine. Then we went to New York, which is where we shot our Summer 95 campaign, which is currently out now. It was beautiful. It was shot with a photographer named Alec. He's absolutely incredible. And that's something that I've really enjoyed about my job is I've been able to connect with so many different creatives.
Yeah.
It's amazing how talented people are in this world, and to be able to connect with them on that level and create a vision that really is bringing a collection to life. But after that, we then traveled to Sweden, which is where Kaylee and I shot the Spring 25 campaign with this beautiful model named Wasa, and she was amazing. We shot, I don't know if you recall what it is. It's called Salties. It's like where the lake, it's near the lake, and I hope I'm not butchering this, but I guess people spend their summers there.
Well, we have like an archipelago. Yes, there are some people that have a lake, and then there is the lake. Our family is on the archipelago, so in Stockholm, like we go on the islands
Okay.
out there. But I know that there are other country houses and lakes.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. So we shot half of it near the lake and then half of it in the city to give this dynamic approach to it. And then we shot in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona. And we shot our Fall 25 campaign, which is about to hit on July 11th, actually.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's incredible. That campaign was shot by a photographer named Carlos, and he is incredible. He shot for Vogue Polska, a number of other campaigns that have just been incredible. He does these beautiful darkroom prints. So he shot half on medium format and then the other half on digital, and he had lighting and everything. And it's been such an honor to be able to witness all of these beautiful creatives and then also be able to work on projects like that myself where I'm really expanding my creative skill set. So
So we're going to be releasing this new photo shoot.
so it's the photo shoots are campaigns for the collection. So essentially, we'll be launching our fall 25 collection in July, and that's when the campaign will be released where we'll start to promote and share the collection with our consumers.
Is it just online, or are you doing it in an ad campaign?
Well, you typically, as far as ads go, specifically for this brand, we'll usually do it on social media, social ads, digital ads, Google, etc. But it will live on the website. Yeah, yeah. And so it's really lovely. It's really wonderful.
And when you're planning these concepts, like, why did you pick these specific locations? What is the type of vibe that you're trying? I know you're known for very unique, different types of visual design, like, like little, different unique styles. So how did you plan these shoots, and why did now you decide to make your next spot?
We're just recently didn't try this. How many fun? Yeah.
So we'll look it down there, like everyone knows. It's down that way.
Yeah.
Folks.
I almost feel like this question, I can answer it confidently, but I do feel like Kaylee, who is our art director, she really shines at that level of.
So she would you decide it?
She is the one who kind of brings to what her and I will essentially decide together on where we're going to shoot and the direction and vibe. But I do feel like it's her role that really creates that vision for us and then relays that to the photographers and creatives that we work with. And it blends sometimes because her and I will often be shooting together. There are times when we're the photographers, so we're creating the vibe together. But as far as location goes, I think that really goes to the core ethos of like where we'd like the brand to head, because the brand is known as a swimwear brand. But I think in the last few years, the designer has really evolved. And so now we're moving into the direction of wanting to showcase the brand as pieces that women who are worldly can wear. Someone who wants to travel the world, who wants to go to
Just aspirational.
yeah, aspirational. And I mean, isn't that really like, I think just like going off of the primary topic of this, it's like, I think that what Gen Z storytelling and Gen Z marketing really is about and what it really thrives on is when people are feeling aspirational. I mean, that's what the peak social
And I've got a thought for you on that. So I've been recently, with being not from that generation necessarily, honestly,
So what would you go for yourself?
I would be a millennial.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, yeah, I think so. But what is the Gen Zs that either we're calling it right now, like at least I'm calling it, we're calling it though.
I would say
is like the we or me generation, right? So and what we're seeing with the media choices and the content, right, is that it's very like I've got to check something off the list. And why I say that is because I say it's aspirational, it's like and but that's almost like it misses something sometimes. I feel like about the experience because they're like waiting to see or go. I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to check off this location. I'm going to see the art, and then I'm going to like go to the next thing. But and they're doing it for this, like, this shot, this social post, this experience. But are they really like, experiencing the whole thing? And I don't know that I care necessarily, but I think that maybe they're consuming content faster and
well, I guess what? Okay, so why do you say you don't care? Is it because that consumer is
well, there's something to go. As long as, if from a marketing perspective, yeah, it doesn't really matter to us, right? As long as they're gonna keep coming, we don't need them to come depending on what you're selling.
yeah.
But it does matter if you're a restaurant, and this does happen. When I work with influencers for restaurants, and what happens is they all come and then their community comes and then they check out their list and they don't come back. And then that restaurateur who's now hired this influencer and now gotten all this initial, marketing is feeling really positive that people don't return, right? Because it's like a fad. But then, of course, is their food good enough to resist that? But in large communities with a lot of things happening, it might just not be, it might be good enough, but the market that they're targeting is not for that. They're looking for that next thing that they're going to check off the list.
Totally. I mean, and with that thought, what's coming to mind is that trends are evolving. And I do think like the idea of an influencer is evolving, at least specifically in my line of work, which is fashion. I feel like because fashion is something that style transcends, time, if you really think about it. Everything resurges. But when it comes to fashion, you have fast fashion, you have, people who connect and want different things, right? Especially Gen Z. It's just like you're saying, they want to check things off of a box. I also think though what becomes my job is then a lot of people don't even know really what the box is supposed to be that they're checking. I'm creating, or I mean, me and my team, we're creating the reality that people want to live in. So I mean, are we checking boxes for people? Maybe, or we're just telling them what boxes they should check.
Hopefully, because then if they're looking for that and you're filling that box, filling that void, then you're fulfilling that manifestation for that.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're looking for it and you're filling it. So it's a win.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I know. And then the only thing is, can you evolve? Like, then I think that's an interesting fact, because you, in fact, have evolved in this brand.
Yeah.
And that is that staying power of like the truth, like of a brand that can stay current, and just like logos be updated. And I read about this in my book because, I've shared experience that it can be hard to sit with a brand that's had a logo for the last 10, 15 years, and to say to Freddie Mercury, yeah, our guy just rebranded, and they all do, and that's what I like try to remind clients of. But like, hey, like Starbucks has been through 4 logo redos. You don't even realize it's different. It just feels better. It feels more right, right? And it's very small nuances, and even just I saw today Hawaiian King Bread just did a new one too. They like just released it and it looked great. It should feel more, and I want people to realize it's not like that what you liked before is bad, right? It's not. It's like the sofa. It's a pretty ring of house. Yeah, it's like a haircut,
Yeah.
Because one is move forward, and in that the brain can do that, then it can keep that, instead of it being like a checkbox, like, oh, I got this once and I'm over it. No, you're evolving with it. He will want to keep cutting back, because that's the only fear that there is now for Gen Z.
Okay,
Is that they gonna dedicate?
absolutely. Okay, so now I have a question for you. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be primarily you asking your behavior, everyone. I love it. So, say a brand that's been around for a long time, they have a loyal audience. Now they're repositioning because they're shifting. The product is staying the same in terms of quality, but the product is shifting slightly. I guess what pieces of advice would you give to a brand like that?
Well, it's a really great question. I've seen it go really wrong, when and that's because of people not realizing that it's just like when it's happening around with feel a headache, right? Just come right out there and just say what it's real. They came in, this guy Josh, who was actually the grandson of the original owners of Hilo Hattie. And he bought it, and we found some differences. I won't get into that, but when they came in, he exchanged 70% of the classic product with new things. And you have to think that, well, why buy, why is that? But that's a common thing, that people will buy a restaurant and change it, right? And
It's also common in fashion for design creative directors to come in and, wipe out core styles because there's new creative.
sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But like usually that's when you'll sink a brand, right? Especially in fashion, like if it's core fashion, people want the same thing, like a shoe, like the Nike, when they would change the 7 and it was all of a sudden a 6.
Yeah.
And people were like, what the fuck is this? Because I always bought the Nike Air in this size and I could fit into it and I feel secured, and now I can't.
Yeah.
And so it's like just with Coke, it's not just fashion, but also Coca-Cola. They had a study, and Pepsi said that people thought that Pepsi was better, so they changed their recipe. And it is a huge surge of loyal Coke lovers. Coke, that's when Coke Original came out.
Yeah.
Right. But, it's you have to know your audience, and you have to, it's like the classic example of how you sell someone something, right? Depending on who they are, right? And what you have to do when you want to evolve is you have to realize who your audience is. And then that's the beauty of what we had the opportunity to do today, is you can actually have the nuance of communication differences. Yeah, I know that you're like someone who likes safe things, and we need to tell you, hey, this is the same brand you've always known. And now we're going worldwide. You know, pictures of Sweden and da da da, right? You show on those classic prints, or you show them, and now they're like, wow, I'm even more worldly because of my tastes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you know what? I think the caveat, or at least somewhat of the solution that my team and I have found, is that what we're doing is we're creating so many different content types that they can enjoy. The idea of someone who is an Akeisha girl is someone who has been with the brand for so long. Maybe they start with their swimwear and now they've evolved into loving our ready-to-wear. And what we're doing is we're really trying to bring them on the journey. And so that's why we've seen something that's challenging with social too, because with fashion, social is so involved because that's the outward facing thing to the brand. I mean, like it is with all industry. But
Is that do you have like some influencers?
oh, totally. We had an entire, influencer strategy, but that has constantly had to evolve because of that same instance that you're talking about with the restaurant. Say a brand gifts influencers, you're not always promised the content. Two, the content might not resonate with the audience or the brand, uh, or you just don't have that scenario of them posting at all.
Right. I mean, it's like traffic, and you don't even know. Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing. And now there are platforms that help brands connect with influencers and show them what we're actually,
Evidence.
evidence. This is where these clicks are coming from. Um, but I do have to say that when it comes to Acacia, a lot of what we're doing right now is still organic because we're a small team and we're building slowly. And something that the creative team, which really Kaylee and I have helped to find, is that the different content types have been what's most resonant with our hits words. Being able to, we now have an Instagram channel where we're telling people about our behind the scenes process. Kaylee will do a little voice memo where she's like, this is how I made this mood board that then translated into this campaign.
Nice.
So it's really, storytelling is so much deeper than really just telling like a campaign story. Say a woman's in, the Amalfi Coast and she's enjoying her life. She's wearing an acacia and we just captured that, right? That's one thing. That's one element of our content strategy. But then you have Kaylee making the mood board and then myself capturing film behind the scenes. We have so many different elements to our content strategy. And I think that's what's going to catapult us into achieving all of our goals with the brand, which is really that we just connect with more women.
If people want the authenticity, they want to like
Yeah.
feel, they want to feel it, and that's and especially now in this world of AI, and like there's AI, there's great uses of AI,
Oh, yeah.
but I think that I hear a lot of times people are worried that, oh, we're gonna lose our jobs and this and that, and I'm like, no, that's not the case because AI can never do that, and that's why it's been even more of an attraction. Because people are going to see and really feel it before. Is it real or is it not? Right? And our spring senses are an all-time muck. And I'm not saying that AI is not, used sometimes, but to separate the good brands, like you said, fashion and like, highly scrutinized industries.
Have you seen H&M? They started paying for, so models can now sell their like rights to their faces. And so now like, brands are creating AI campaigns. And I think that's been a topic specifically in the fashion industry is, where is that going to take? But then it's also like if people can create fake campaigns, how do people even really know how clothes fit? And I think it goes deeper. It's like why fashion, fashion is at the intersection of, art and culture, design, and which is why I love it so much because it has all of those elements.
And you know what? Here's the thing. What the AI can't do is do what you're doing right now.
That's true.
Because we can recreate the commercial, but you can't recreate the recreation of that commercial because that's the AI. Yeah, and you're doing the other side. So that's when the authenticity is like founded. If I see the full picture and then the trust is built.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's why it separates you from others.
Yeah. It's also that teamwork. It's like Kaylee and I will sit down and we'll have these brainstorming sessions where it's just like, yes, we need to do this. It's like fireworks coming out of us. But AI can't recreate that. They can't have those little mini brainstorming sessions where, for example, her and I were like, okay, for right now where we have a sale going on, and we were like, oh, we're gonna do a bunch of sticker case and videos. So, for example, Chelsea, the artist I was talking to you about, she just recently became like our marketer brand year, and she plastered a bunch of bikinis. And we took a video of bikinis just cracking with plaster. Haley that did a video herself where she submerged bikinis in silicone, and now it's like silicone. It's different forms of AI or ASMR. Where's those at least? ASMR, it's like a sensory thing. You know, when Emma's with her slime, and it's like you see videos of like slime or it's basically sensory content that's specifically related to sound, I would say, or feeling.
You must have seen it. But that's an example of a content strategy that we're now testing. And I'm like trying to figure out where to like weigh that bit back into AI. That's like you can't have those conversations without team, without you can't decide free a not a program.
We can't do things, and we have to keep teaching it what we want it to be.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
And then I think the whole idea here is that let's do it, let it do everything we don't want to do, and then we can spend our time doing that.
Yes.
You know. And then what is it's like? Yes, like go world.
I mean, also like go figuring out where you bring the most value. I think that's something that has been really important to me with my career is figuring out how I can spend my time bringing the most value rather than spending my time doing tasks that say maybe I'm able to do, I'm capable. It's like, when am I bringing the most value? It's going to be the ideation, the execution of strategy, etc.
I think so. So tell me, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, that's such a heavy question for me because I feel like I've been thinking about that so long. I think in the next 5 years, I'd like to see myself having a project of my own that I feel can inspire people, specifically women. Right now I'm in the middle of working on a project called Union, and it's with Kaylee, actually. It's a network, I think, for right now, of women who are in, say, the creative space, the freelancing space, who really just want to learn about how they can capitalize on their skill set. Really just a network for freelancers if you really think about it. But to us, we're going to make it so much more special because it's going to be about our ideas. What can we create? Can we create, a pottery session where women are all talking about, advice on how to create contracts? Maybe, yes. And I think that's one project. I guess when you ask where I could be in 5 years, it's having multiple projects that inspire women, inspire creatives, inspire like thoughtful conversation. And I really think at the core, I just want to be inspiring people. And as I get older, I want to be more confident about the inspiration that I'm cultivating for others. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Gosh, in 5 years, I just think how that I'm not even sure where I'll be in 5 years, but I definitely know that,
Well, I guess it's a loaded question because we were just talking about when you're thinking about prediction, it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Am I thinking too far ahead even?
Yeah, no, I think that when I think about how much I've done in just the last 2 years,
I totally, but and then I just think that it's just all speeding up and slowing down at the same time. And so I think that I'll be on the way to where I am already, 'cause I'm already there and I'm just gonna be further along.
Yeah,
I know it, but there. Yeah.
especially because if you think about where you were 2 years from now, I'm sure it's like you could have already predicted where you're going to be, where you are now, right? You probably could have already predicted that too.
I could I get manifested it, you've sure.
Done so much, maybe even so much more than picture. I feel that way for myself too. Since like our last campaign season, I'm creating now full editorials by myself, in Chinatown, and I'm connecting with creatives. It's so interesting because it also having so many different coincidences and synchronicities with the creatives that I'm working with, specifically for Acacia, but also just in my own personal like conversations. It's crazy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay world.
we'll wrap it up there. So to connect with Kiana, you can find her on LinkedIn, and then tell them how they can find your work. You also have your own website.
Yeah. KianaKanoa.com.
And you do your some private advertising work there with some real estate agents and whatnot.
Yeah, actually, if you go to my website, you can request my full portfolio. And then if a project aligns, you can just reach out to me. Or I'm sure I'll at some point it'll come naturally.
Yes.
Because of how that works.
That's great. We'll manifest it. Well, thank you so much for being here. And please join me next week on the Covert Code as I interview another industry expert in a topics to help you succeed on and offline. I'll see you in the pixels. Aloha.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Covert Code podcast. To stay up to date with all our future episodes, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means everything to us. Please take a moment to leave a review and share our content with your friends and colleagues on social media. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more digital innovators like yourself. See you in the pixels. Aloha.